We are hearing Bhagavad Gita, 17th chapter, 3 divisions of faith according to the gunas. So according to their gunas, they are having different varieties of sacrifices, charity, taste, food, everything is classified. We heard about gift also in Satyagun, Rajagun or Tamagun. In Rajagun is when you anticipate something in return. You don't actually give, but you give for getting something. And Tamasic is with disparaging or to undeserving person out of contempt, like this. This we heard. Om Tat Sat iti nirdesho brahmanastri vidah smritaha brahmanastena vedascha yagyascha vihitah pura. The three words Om, Tat and Sat are mentioned in the scriptures to indicate Brahman. With these three words, the Brahmins, the Vedas and the Yagyas were created in bygone ages by Brahma. Tasmat Om itu dahritya yagyadana tapah kriyaha pravartante vidhanoktah satatam brahmavadinam. Hence, the rites of sacrifices, charities, and austerities, as mentioned in the scriptures of the followers of the Vedas, are always performed with utterance of the word Om. Explanation. Austerity, sacrifice, gift, and food vary according to the threefold nature of Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. These fourfold acts performed in the conditioned state of the jiva with any kind of faith, whether good, bad, or indifferent, are saguna and hence threefold. 1 second. Just to check whether I have right meaning. So saguna means they are of three gunas. Saguna, three gunas, so they are trifling, unimportant or trivial, insignificant. Both when they are done with nirguna faith or faith having devotional service to God in view, they are entitled to be called nirguna, which tends to purify the heart as the seat of pure devotion. Seat means sitting place. Nirguna means beyond this material trigunas, transcendental. If one has that faith, that will purify the heart, and pure devotion will take its seat there, in purified heart. All scriptures are at one to do duty with such selfless, firm faith. That firm faith is defined in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Shraddha Shabda Bishwash Kohe Sudrido Nishchay Krishna Bhakti Koile Sarva Karma Krita Hoy. Firm belief without any doubt that by serving Krishna everything is done properly. Like when you water at the root of tree, whole tree is nourished. When you give food to stomach, whole body is properly nourished. Like that, by serving Krishna, all one's duties, activities, everything is done properly performed. There is no any other duty necessary. The scriptures, they recommend such selfless, firm faith, to do duty with this. But it has to be proper, under the guidance of pure devotee. Because sometimes we like to cheat by whimsically doing some service, like doing something which we think it is for the service of Krishna, and avoiding certain aspects of devotion which are also there, in the name of following only service of Krishna. But there are many aspects of what means service of Krishna. This is the ultimate target, to satisfy Krishna. But what one has to do to achieve the satisfaction of Krishna according to one's situation, whether conditioned soul or liberated soul or all this, that has to be done under the guidance of bona fide guru. Otherwise we may do some cheating also, and that will not help us. We would want to avoid some aspects of devotion. The scriptures speak of the three principles of Om Tat Sat in defining Brahman. With this definition of Brahman, the three kinds of Brahmanas, Vedas and Yagyas, are also defined. So, discarding the ordinances of the scriptures, any kind of faith, whether sattvic, rajasic or tamasic, will terminate in saguna bhakti, or qualified devotion, which does not aim at nirguna Brahman, but produces endless desires in the heart. So if one does not follow nirguna bhakti, as is recommended by Shastra, but will do duty with these three types of faith, that will be maximum only saguna bhakti. They are described in Bhagavatam. They have worldly benefits as end. So that will not reveal transcendental Supreme Lord, and it will keep these endless desires in the heart. So pure faith, transcendental faith, is the keynote of all scriptures. In Jivadharma also, Bhaktivinoda Thakur explained there are two kinds of faith. One is Laukika, one is Tattvika or Shastriya faith. They are different. Laukika means, like in India, it is like social custom. There are temples, and small children or others like this, they see other people, they are going to temple, they are bowing down, and they are doing as a social something, not with tattvic or transcendental faith or faith in Shastra, that here is Supreme Lord, I am his eternal servant, I should do this service for him, not with this, but as a social something. So that is Laukika. That does not qualify one to Bhakti Yoga. Only Tattvic or Shastriya Shraddha qualifies one to perform Bhakti Yoga. So such pure faith is the keynote of all scriptures. O Arjuna, it is your ignorance that makes you doubtful in scriptures and in faith. For this reason, the Brahmanas ever perform all kinds of yagya, dana, tapas and ahar, as mentioned in the scriptures, with the word Om, the indicator of Brahman, on their lips. Arjuna is playing the pastime of being ignorant so that we get the teaching through him. It will be explained here, so I don't want to say now. Tad iti anabhisandhaya phalam yagya tapah kriyaha dana kriyascha vividha kriyante moksha kankshibhihi. Various rites of sacrifices, austerities and charities are performed with the utterance of the word Tat by the seekers of freedom from bondage without desiring any fruit. Explanation: keeping in view the truth, or Tat means that, which is beyond the scope of Atat, not that, that is to say mundane. In order to deliver yourself from the bondage of the world, you must perform yagya, dana, tapas, etc., abandoning all fruits of actions. Our Gurudev, when explaining that mantra from Rig Veda, Tad Vishnu Paramang Padam Sada Pashanti Surya Divivachakshuratatam, there he explained that this word Tat means that, which is different from idam, or this, worldly. So Tat Vishnu, that Vishnu, transcendental Vishnu, is lotus feet. Sada Pashanti Surya. The pure devotees, they are always seeing those lotus feet through surrender, because those lotus feet are self-effulgent, they are revealed. So devotees, they are surrendered, they can see all the time. So object of worship is eternal, worship is eternal, and worshipper is eternal. That is pure devotion, transcendental, nirguna platform. So Om, our Gurudev explained in Kartik Brata there, when Gajendra starts his prayer, Om Namo Bhagavate Tasmai, that once there was a quarrel with our Parangurudev's disciple, and another one person in Tezpur, Gauriya Mat, in Assam. He was saying, this is the meaning of Om. And another said, that is the meaning of Om. Like Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, A, U, M. A means Vishnu. U means, I think, Brahma. And some said, and he said another thing. So they were quarreling loudly, and then Parangurudev came and asked, what is the matter? Then they explained. Then he said, Om can have innumerable meanings. It is like a seed of transcendental supreme person. So according to one's rasa, or object of worship, Om can mean Radha Krishna to some. Om can mean Ramachandra to some. Om can mean Lakshmi Narayan. Om can mean Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. Om can mean that impersonal Brahman, can mean Paramatma, because all is possible. That is transcendental seed vibration. So it is like a seed, and everything can come out according to your submission. So that which is Om, that is Tat, it is transcendental. And that which is Tat is Sat, eternal. Om Tat Sat. That is why they are uttering to connect with transcendental. Every action should be connected to transcendental for his service. Then all this yagya, tapa, and all this, it will release you from bondage. Otherwise, this all activities, if they are done with saguna faith, sattvic, rajasic or tamasic, it will still keep you in this world. Only Om Tat Sat, the transcendental Brahman, that can liberate you. So, if you want to free yourself from the bondage of the world, you must perform yagya, dana, tapas, etc., abandoning all fruits of actions. You should not desire to enjoy the fruits of actions. Only as a duty to Brahman you have to do. But in sattvic, in rajasic and tamasic faith, they want something in return. That is why it is bondage. Sadbhave sadhu bhave cha sat ityetat prayujyate prashaste karmani tatha shat shabdah partayujyate yagye tapasi dane cha stiti sat iti chochate karma chaiva tat arthiyam sat ityeva bhi dhyate. O Partha, the word Sat or eternity refers to Brahmanhood, to the worshippers of Brahman, and also to the good deeds, good actions. Establishing oneself in the performance of sacrifices, austerities, and charities is also called Sat. Deeds done for their sake are also called Sat. Not as a desire to enjoy the fruit, but as a duty to Brahman, that is also called Sat, that activity, because it becomes transcendental, that activity. Explanation: the significance of the word Sat is stability in the performance of yagya, tapasya and dana, because they become Sat when they are indicative of the satisfaction of Vishnu. Otherwise, they are turned into asat, that is to say, temporal. Yes. When it is done with transcendental faith for the satisfaction of Vishnu, all these duties, different aspects of duties, when it is for him, then it is transcendental, everything. And prasad will be transcendental, and you will be liberated from this world, and you will attain the lotus feet of Vishnu. So that is called Om Tat Sat. Shraddaya hutam datam tapastaptam kritam chayat asat ityuchyate partha nachatat pretya no iha. O Partha, the yagya which is performed, the charity that is given, the austerity that is gone through, and the deed that is done without any faith is called asat. That is to say, not sat. That neither leads to any good in this world nor in the next. Oh, sorry, I did not read from previous explanation. One part was also on this page, so I'm reading that. All mundane activities are anti-theistic to pure self-determination. But when they are performed in recognition of Vishnu, and when they promise advancement, awakenment of pure devotion, they are congenial to the purification of the Jiva's soul, which is rendered fit for eternal service of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. So purification of Jiva soul, I already explained yesterday or before yesterday, means our aversion to Krishna, that is dirt. That has to be purified. We have to become inclined to serve Krishna. Then that will be pure, purity of Jiva. And the explanation to this verse, Nirguna Shraddha or transcendental faith is the only source of pure devotion. O Arjuna, performances of yagya, dana or tapasya without nirguna faith are all asat, that is ephemeral, temporary, and they are not beneficial either in this world or in the next. Hence, all the scriptures point to transcendental faith. Hence, transcendental faith is the only seed of pure devotion. That is why that is necessary. Before Guru, bona fide Guru, gives initiation into mantra to some aspirant, he has to see whether that aspirant has transcendental faith or not. By serving Krishna, you serve all, and whether he is willing to serve Krishna according to scriptural injunctions, means he is willing to accept certain prescriptions and willing to give up certain prohibitions, actions which are not for the service of Krishna. Bona fide Guru has to see this. It is ninth offense to Harinam, you know, is to give Harinam initiation to someone who has no faith. Ashraddha Dana Vimukha, that offense. If Guru, out of greed, for getting more and more disciples and for getting money and name and fame or for whatever, he does not see this, whether that person really has faith or not. If he will give initiations, he's committing offense to holy name and he will fall down, because he's not doing it for the service of Krishna. He himself should serve Krishna by giving initiation to those who are, to show the path, to those who are real, sincere aspirant of Krishna Bhakti. If he does not see this, and out of greed for many disciples, then he will commit offense, he will fall down. Giving initiation is a kind of service to Krishna, but to those who are sincere servitors, who have awakened faith by their past Sukriti and Sadhu Sangha and reading Shastra and like this, they have firm belief, then Guru, if he shows the path to that aspirant, then Krishna will be satisfied. Otherwise, not. And he has to be willing to accept, like fasting on Ekadashi, fasting on other Vishnu Tattva observances. Of course, fasting, I mean, according to Kali Yuga, you can eat on these days also. Fasting does not mean only dry fast, without water, without food, but fasting means giving up grains, beans, and those things which are prohibited, and you can accept that which is allowed, because in Kali Yuga we are weak physically, so that is allowed. So that is also accepted as fasting, but one should not eat grains on Ekadashi, and this, that is wrong. There are some gurus, so-called gurus, not real gurus, they will not explain these rules and regulations because they are afraid, then the others will not accept. So you may eat whatever you like, you may do whatever you like, no problem. Just you become disciple, and this is their thinking, and you bring donations and all this. So that is the sign also of a so-called guru, which is not showing the path of devotion to Krishna according to scriptural injunctions. And he will say, you can smoke, what is the problem? You can eat meat, no problem. But that is against Shastra. So if there are such so-called gurus, in order to increase their followers, they are saying like this, then you can know they are not doing it for the satisfaction of Krishna, and they will have bad result, and those so-called disciples, they will also not get eternal welfare. So we can take only those things which can be offered to Krishna. And there are some other commandments which we have to accept, and something we have to give up, these 4 sinful activities, and for the service of Krishna, regular chanting and following the fasts and following those 64 kinds of devotion. According to Guru's instruction, one will perform service of Krishna, and Guru, bona fide Guru, will give according to Shastra and according to Guru Parampara, that order which is coming. The gist of this chapter is, a jiva attains to final beatitude when all his qualified actions such as yagya, dana, tapasya, ahara means eating, etc. are done with nirguna faith in the Supreme Lord, which is ingrained in the very nature of the soul. Yes, 1 second, let me see this word. Beatitude. Beatitude means supreme blessedness, benediction, grace, bliss, ecstasy, exaltation. Yes, supreme blessedness. So all actions should be done for the service of Krishna. Then that will be proper. You will get eternal welfare. Otherwise you will be bound and unhappy. And this Shraddha is the eternal nature of the soul. Every jiva has that already ingrained or innate or inherent or whatever you want to say. It is there because jiva is like iron attracted to magnet. So that Shraddha and devotion, everything is there by nature. But when jiva misuses her relative independence, wants to enjoy this world from marginal plane, then she is covered, and that nature is not manifested. But by gathering enough sukriti, first appearance will be this, Shraddha, first. Then he will search for Shastra and Sadhu association. Then in that association, he will further awaken that faith, and he will practically start service of Krishna under the guidance of bona fide Guru. But this faith in Krishna, this is not something unnatural for jiva, something artificially given from outside and something which is taught. No, it has to be awakened only. It is most natural for the jiva. Everything else is artificial and impure. So when one by Sukriti and by Sadhu Sangha starts to feel that faith and devotion to Krishna, he will feel this is most natural thing for me. He will not feel as something external to him. That other things, he will feel those are external and they are not good. But this is good. He will feel like this. Now, there are questions to this chapter. What is the cause of different natures of the people? Shloka 3. According to previous actions, they will have these three kinds of natures: sattvic, rajasic, or tamasic. Why do the sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic people differ in their worship? Because of their different nature, and they have then different faith, worldly faith, and taste and everything. It is connected. He will have faith in this kind of people. Rajasic person will have faith in rajasic kind of people and actions. And sattvic in this. Those who are tamasic, they will not have faith in sattvic people. Impossible. They will think they are crazy. So according to their nature and faith, they will be different. What are the processes of worship of the demons? They will do austerity for pride and for harming others and all this we heard. Like Hiranyakashipu. What is the sattvic ahar? Sattvic eating, that which will increase health and long life and pure, that is sattvic. Rajasic is for the tongue, for taste, and it is bitter, very salty, hot, chili, all these things. And the main point is to enjoy. What is the tamasic ahar? That is, we heard, stale, remnants, long time cooked. It means it is not fresh, that is stale. And unclean, unholy, foul, they already have bad smell. No juice because of long time cooked back. And wine, tobacco, coffee, tea, hemp, opium, etc. They're to the persons of tamasa nature. In India, because it is very hot, when you cook food, then quickly it will start to deteriorate. That is why they say food should not be cooked 3 hours before. Then after 3 hours, it is already becoming spoiled. But here in our countries, because it is different climate and everything, food does not become spoiled so fast. More slow than in India. It is of different kind, that is tropical and all this. But here it stays longer time, but still it cannot remain unlimited time. And they're using fridge and all this. So, and different kind of food, like bread, can stay longer than 3 hours. In India, the chapati they will make that will become dry after some time, so you cannot use. So accordingly, you have to see or consult some Ayurvedic doctor here. He told 6 hours you can keep here. In India, after 3 hours it will start to, but here 6 hours you can keep. And one person, he asked me, if you are not taking coffee, then how you are, if you have low blood pressure, then how you can increase that? So I did not know. So I asked this one Ayurvedic doctor, and he said you can, if for immediate effect, you can use lemonade with sea salt, little warm, that will immediately help you with. And for a long run, you take 15 raisins, you cook them in half-liter water for 10 minutes, and then you drink that daily. You drink, like in the morning. Instead of coffee, you drink this, and also eat those raisins. That will help you to have stable blood pressure for a long time. I did not try, but I heard just recently someone's blood pressure was very low, so he took lemonade. Immediately it went up. Even these ordinary allopathic doctors, they approved this. So you can use this, and otherwise no hemp or opium and all this tamasic. What are the 3 kinds of yagya, sacrifice, according to the 3 qualities? Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic. What are the 3 kinds of austerities pertaining to body, mind, and word? This we heard. 14. Propitiation of gods, brahmanas, preceptors, and the truly wise. Purity, simplicity, chastity, and inoffensiveness are said to be austerities appertaining to the body. And to the mind is austerities that are not unpleasant to anybody, that are truthful, dare, and full of beneficial words and conduct, and that include constant study and practice of the Vedas, relate to the austerities of speech, that is to speech, and to mind is the serenity of mind, placidity, silence, self-control, and purification of heart are known as mental austerities. Devotees, they practice serenity of mind by thinking of Krishna, and silence by speaking only of Krishna. What is meant by sattvic tapasya? What is meant by rajasic tapasya? What is meant by tamasic tapasya? Sattvic is they will do with devotional faith without any desire for fruits thereof are known as sattvic. And rajasic, the austerities that are performed with great pomp for glory, honor, and applause are transient, uncertain, and are said to be rajas in this world. You always want applause, pomp, all this. And tamasic, the austerities that are performed with the zeal of a fool by torturing one's own self or for the distraction of others are called tamas. Demons, they will do this. for the destruction of others. What are the three kinds of gifts? A gift that is bestowed upon one who has not done any good, but is bestowed only in consideration of proper place, proper time, and proper person is called Sattvika gift. Out of duty, you give to the needy person. You give that. Not because he did something for you before, so you are giving, returning. No. He is needy and you are giving as a duty. And Rajasic is a gift that is bestowed in anticipation of return for service rendered. I'm giving you this if you give me this. So that is Rajasic, with desire. Or for celestial pleasures, or bestowed grudgingly with mental agony as after effect. You don't want to give, but you give and you become angry because of that. You are disturbed. Why I have to give to him? Not with real good intention you are giving. And you will feel sorry after giving. Or with, yes, mental agony. That is Rajasic. And Tamasic is a gift that is conferred in a place where and at a time when there is no need to confer, and on undeserving persons, such as harlots, that is prostitutes, actors, dancers, or those who are not in want. So there is no need. And is bestowed disparagingly on a really deserving holy person. They will give but with criticizing. Out of contempt is a tamasa gift. So that is tamasic. But devotees, they are giving gifts. In that Upadeshamrita it is there. Dadati pratigrihnati guhyam aketi prichati bhunkte bhujayate chaiva sharavida priti lakshanam. How you should associate with other devotees. By giving gifts, that which is required by that devotee, and accepting gift from him, what he is offering. And offering prasad, and accepting prasad, and opening your heart to that devotee, and hearing from him about his realization of Krishna. Then it depends. If less advanced, then you will ask some question to devotee or for guidance like this, then the devotee will tell you. And if you are superior, if someone will ask you something, then you should give reply. Then that will be devotional. You should not be miser. What you heard from Gurudev, or what you realized, what you know, what you from Shastra, what you learned, you should share that with others, with those who are proper candidates, not to speak to those who don't want to hear or only for argument's sake for like this. No, but if there is some sincere soul, then you should tell. Then that will be devotional. That is duty also. You should not be miser. You should help others. Then Krishna will be pleased. What are the three principal words in defining Brahman? Om, Tat, Sat. All indicate that transcendental, eternal. And Om, according to your rasa, it will be revealed, the meaning. But there is no need of chanting Om. In this Kali Yuga, by the order of Mahaprabhu, we are to give importance on chanting Mahamantra, directly name of Krishna, Nama Sankirtan. That is non-different from Om. Om and Mahamantra, they are non-different, both transcendental. But this Mahamantra is more direct address, and it is more powerful also. So we have to chant this mantra. What are the distinctive applications of those three principal words? Yes, application. So all sacrifices, charities, austerities, everything by the followers of the Vedas are always performed with the utterance of the word Om. So while they will chant Om. And those sacrifices and everything, they will perform with the utterance of the word Tat by the seekers of freedom from bondage, without desiring any fruit. And the word Sat refers to Brahmanhood, to the worshippers of Brahman, and also to the good deeds. And deeds done for their sake are also called Sat. So they will do with that, as we heard, with that transcendental faith in Supreme Person, all these activities they will do for his satisfaction, for Vishnu. Then that will be transcendental and it will liberate you from this worldly bondage. What are the baneful effects of actions done without conforming to scriptures? That was in this shloka which we heard. O Partha, the yagya which is performed, the charity that is given, the austerity that is gone through, and the deed that is done without any faith is called asat, that is to say, not sat. That neither leads to any good in this world nor in the next. So if you are not doing with transcendental faith, then you cannot get eternal welfare, eternal goodness, but only these worldly things, but that will not satisfy the soul. So in that sense it is baneful, because we all, jiva, sentient living entities, we want to be happy, and we want to be eternally happy, not only for some time, and full happiness. That is the demand or the need or desire of every jiva, because jiva is Satchidananda. So it requires Satchidananda for its sustenance. But we can get Satchidananda only from Satchidananda, Krishna. So when we are engaged in his service, then we get what we want. If not, then we will get other things, but that will not be fulfilling. So that is why that is undesirable. You will be unhappy, like Vyasadeva. He played this pastime of writing so many scriptures for the good of the jivas, but he felt, I am not happy. Why is this? I gave so much for the happiness of jivas, so in return I should also be happy. Why am not? He played the pastime of not knowing, because he is all-knowing, but to give us teaching by his own example. Then he prayed to his Gurudev, Narad Goswami. Narad Goswami came and he told him, Narad Goswami asked, how is your soul in relation to body and mind, to gross and subtle body? Because it is useless to ask, how is the soul, how are you? Because soul is always blissful. And useless to ask body and mind, they are dead matter, how they are, it is also useless. But when jiva is bound by them, then she is not happy. So already indicating Narad Goswami asked in such a way, because he is a realized soul. So then Vyasadeva said, you know everything, Gurudev, I am not happy, but I cannot understand why. I did so much good for the jivas. Then Narad said, what you did? He said, jivas, they want to enjoy this world, so I gave Kama Shastra. They want to get good position in this world, and after that also, so I gave Dharma Shastra. And for money, I gave Artha Shastra, everything I gave. Then Narad said, no, that will not fulfill the jivas. That is their demands from their disease state. Like one drunkard is addicted to alcohol, so he thinks that that is his necessity, alcohol, but it is harming him. Like that, all these temporary things we desire because of disease, not because it is really required. So that cannot fulfill. So you gave them unhappiness, so how you can be happy? Then he said, but I also gave for liberation. Then Narad said, that is even worse, because that is like a suicide. You deprive them of their actual welfare. They will dissolve their identity, so they will not suffer, but they will not get anything positive. So it is like suicide. How they can be happy? Then Narad told him, you have to speak about Krishna for his satisfaction only. This devotion you have to do, and also preach devotion to Krishna, then you can be happy. Then Vyasadeva did, and he got all the realization, and then he wrote Bhagavatam, and he was happy, eternally happy in the service of Krishna, and that is the requirement for jiva. So any other action except causeless devotion to Krishna cannot fulfill the jiva. That is why there are baneful effects of actions done without conforming to scriptures, means not for the satisfaction of Krishna. Tomorrow we will start the last chapter of Gita called Moksha Yoga. It is a bit longer than others, but very important chapter, because here conclusion will come. Even Krishna will say to him, Arjuna, you hear me now, what I will tell you. Arjuna is hearing whole Gita. Why Krishna is again telling, you hear me now very attentively? Because even if you did not hear other things attentively till now, that will not be so harmful. But now you hear me. What I want to tell you now, that you have to hear. Don't miss this one, and Arjuna will not.